Hey guys, welcome. Well, the holidays are officially here, so today we're going to be talking about hosting holidays at your house. I just hosted Thanksgiving at my house last week, and I want to share with you some of my tips and suggestions for how to make the day go well, for how to make it a little bit less stressful for yourself by doing some things to prepare ahead of time and stay organized, and how you can have a successful holiday hosted by you where your guests and yourself have a really pleasant and enjoyable time together. So right off the bat, first, before I get into it, let me just say this. Your house is good enough to host a holiday. There was a time when I was embarrassed of my house. I thought my house wasn't good enough. I thought everybody else has a nicer house than me and a nicer kitchen than me, and I didn't want to host parties or dinners or have people over my house because I just felt like my house wasn't good enough. This is not true. By all means, make your guests feel comfortable. If you have to put a leaf in your table to make it bigger or add chairs, definitely. But do not turn yourself upside down trying to put new carpet down or renovate your kitchen and thinking that your house isn't good enough. Don't let that be an obstacle to you. I live in a small, tiny little house that's older, and I don't have a nice kitchen. I don't have an island. I don't have granite countertops. I'm not going to let those things be obstacles and stop me from hosting a holiday at my home and inviting people into my home. One of my good friends has a Christmas party at her house every single year, and she lives in an older home like me, even older, a colonial home with little tiny rooms and a little tiny galley kitchen and narrow hallways, and there isn't really great traffic flow, but her party is super popular. Everyone wants to be on her invite list every year, and everybody has a blast and goes home happy. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if your appliances are old or if your carpet is worn and you're embarrassed and you think it's not good enough. It is good enough. Your family wants to be with you. Your friends want to be with you. Everybody wants to be together, and that's really not what it's about. So don't let that be an obstacle. Your home is good enough. So the first thing is going to be organization and preparation ahead of time. For a big meal like Thanksgiving or Christmas, you're going to want to get as much done ahead of time as you can so that you're not totally stressed out the day of. Now, it is a lot of work. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it's totally doable. And Thanksgiving actually is one of the easiest meals because a lot of the vegetables are just boiled. You're putting the turkey in the oven and kind of leaving it and letting it sit for a while, and you have plenty of time to work on other things. So with the right time management and organization, you can totally do this successfully. I like to break things down in what I'm going to do the week before, what I'm going to do the couple of days before, and what I'm going to do the day of. So as much as you can get done way ahead of time, the better. So what you'll want to do the week before, or even sooner than that, is start planning your menu. You'll want to think about what kind of foods you want. And at this stage, what I would do is I would start to bring people in, your family members and the people that you're going to invite at your house. Start talking to them about it. First of all, tell them that you're hosting it, right? Let them know that you're doing it so that you can get a good head count. And involve them in the conversation when you're talking about your menu, especially your close family. Some of these traditional holidays are very important to people. Traditions are important. Traditional foods are important. And everybody has their favorite things and their favorite meals that they want to see on the table. So definitely include people and bring them in the conversation and say, is there any certain particular thing you like? Is there a traditional food that you want to have? And start including those things in your menu. In my family, we have someone who likes this one particular dish that nobody else likes. So we make it every year, and they're the only one that eats it, and nobody else eats it, and it's okay. Those traditional things are very important to people at the holidays, so definitely bring people into the conversation. And when someone is offering and saying, can I bring anything? Yes, definitely. Give them something to bring. Delegate as many things as you can to people that are willing and able to do it for you, whether that be picking up wine, something pre-packaged that they can buy, or if they want to bake something, cook something and bring it. Definitely give something to them that you don't mind them doing, that you want them to do. For example, we just had Thanksgiving and I had pies. So I had a pumpkin pie and a rhubarb pie. I did not make an apple pie. Now, some people feel very strongly that apple pie should be part of it. So when I was talking to people about my menu, I said, if you're hearing me talking about pies and you're like, I wish there was an apple pie, like definitely feel free to make one and bring it. Bring whatever you want. If you're like, I kind of wish there was brownies or cookies, bring brownies or cookies. I want my guests to be happy. I want everyone to feel like this was the meal that they imagined in their head with their favorite traditional dish. So I bring people into that conversation pretty early on. So the week before or even earlier, you'll want to start your grocery shopping once you have your menu plan. Now I write a list. I keep everything written down, and I strongly suggest you keep a list. If you're a person that's like, oh, I don't need a list, I can remember in my head, like, please write a list. It's really, you're going to be your go-to. I write at the top of my list all of the things I'm making, my menu, and at the bottom, I just write like my chores for the day of, because it really will get busy and things can get away from you. And I don't want to forget to do something like vacuum. So I always write a list. And there are some things that you can get way ahead of time. So for Thanksgiving, for example, there's a lot of canned things that you're buying, like the cranberry sauce or canned corn. You can use frozen vegetables from a bag. These are all things you can buy way ahead of time. In my family, we have a certain dish we like with artichoke hearts. I buy those literally a month before. Now, obviously, when you go out to the supermarkets, you can see that they've ramped up on these things and they have a lot of them in stock, but you don't want to take a chance that the certain particular thing that you want is going to be sold out. So get that way ahead of time. Same thing with the liquor store. If you know a certain wine you want or a certain type of alcohol you want, go get those way early, like the week before or even 2-3 weeks before. Those type of things do sell out, and I found out this year that there are certain popular type of liquors that actually will sell out, and some liquor stores have limit 1 per customer quantity limits on purchasing certain popular liquors and alcohols. So you don't want to be like running around the Wednesday before Thanksgiving to 4 different liquor stores trying to find that one certain particular type of brandy that you have to have. The next thing in my preparation is the week before, I will start taking out all of my casserole dishes, my serving platters, and the utensils and things I'm going to use to serve all the food in. These are things I don't use very frequently, so they're stored away in like my china cabinet or in a cupboard somewhere. So I will start pulling all of those things out. I lay them all out on my dining room table and I assign everything a name so I know which one is the green beans going in, which one is the mashed potatoes going in, and I'll put a sticky note right on the dish and say this is what it's for. I wash everything and I clean everything up. Same thing with the wine glasses. You want to pull them all out of your cabinet and wash everything. A lot of the things that you're using you probably haven't used since the last holiday, and your cupboards are not airtight, so definitely give them all a wash and a look over. And same thing for the serving utensils. If you're serving pie, you want to get your pie serving utensils out. You want to decide ahead of time, do you have enough regular spoons? Do you have enough slotted spoons for the things you're going to serve? And line them all up and assign them. This will help on the day of, that you're not fishing around and rummaging around and wondering what happened to that casserole dish or that certain particular platter that I can't find. Have it all out days ahead of time. Another thing that you can get out ahead of time is all of your table linen. So your tablecloths, your cloth napkins, table runners, anything like that that you're going to be putting on the table. I take mine out. I have a linen tablecloth, so I take that out and I iron it. I will set up my dining room table 2 or 3 days before and start putting everything on it. And then basically in our house, the dining room table is off limits for those couple of days. But I do actually start setting the table the day before or even 2 days before and just getting everything out, making sure everything is clean and prepared. So once it gets to be like the day or 2 before, this is when I go back to the grocery store and I start to get a lot of my produce items that I wanted to be fresh. So this is like if I'm going to be buying butternut squash or anything like that that I didn't want to buy more than a week out, I'll get that. If you're doing meat or seafood, you can get this at this time. The day or 2 before is also when I start my real house cleaning. So vacuuming, cleaning the bathroom, making sure everything is like tidy. All of the clutter I have around my house, I like hide in the closets or do something with so that there's plenty of space and everything looks clean for the guests coming in. Now there are some dishes that you can make the day before. If you're doing pies, I cook those the day before. If you're doing something at Christmas like a lasagna or something like that, or making meatballs, you can do those the day before. Anything that you can make the day before or ahead of time and just reheat or warm up the day of, definitely do this. This is going to save you tons of time and stress. If you're making a cocktail or a pre-mixed drink or something like a sangria, you can make that the day before, or a punch. So now when it comes to the day of, you'll just be cooking the foods that needed to be made that day and getting ready to host people over your house and for your guests to arrive. You'll want to have obviously your bathroom clean and plenty of things stocked up on, like extra toilet paper and your hand towels out and that type of thing. You'll want to empty out your coat closet and just put all your coats away and put those up in your bedroom so that your guests can use the actual closet. If you have little kids in your house that's part of your family that are there, think about feeding them ahead of time. Now, you're going to be eating a huge meal later on, but your little kids aren't going to want to wait until 3 o'clock or later to eat. You're going to have something. So that's something to mentally think about ahead of time as well, is preparing a little something for them. Even if it's something prepared, if you have real little kids, you can give them a Lunchables or a microwave meal or something quick just for today, because they will start being like, when are we eating? Or we're hungry, when it's really a lot earlier in the day and you're probably not hungry and you're probably not eating, but you will have to have something for the other people in your household. Another thing to think about is if you want to put a game out. Sometimes in our family we'll play a game or have a game out. It's a good idea to put something out that is an easy game for people to do when they arrive, when they're waiting, before the meal is ready to be served, in that milling around kind of time, like a Jenga or a Tenzi, or the kind of game that you can just put out on a table. Nobody has to learn any rules. You don't have to really wait for people to begin it. Anyone can do it of any age, and it's just kind of like a nice little fun thing to have out on the table. I like to have on some of these music channels, they'll have like a holiday jazz or a holiday playlist. On YouTube, they have these really cute things you can put on your TV, like the Cozy Coffee Shop. I like to have those just on the TV in the background. Just kind of makes it like a nice little vibe with the piano playing in the background. So those are my tips for hosting a holiday in your home. Overall, just try to remember, keep your cool, be patient with people. If someone's asking you, can they do anything, or hovering around the kitchen, give them something to do. I really hope that you have a wonderful holiday season and enjoy it with your family and your friends. And remember, one of the great things about hosting a holiday in your home is, while it is a lot of work to put on, you are already in your house. And at the end of the night, when everyone else is getting in their car and has to drive home, you're already home. And I think that's wonderful. So if you like these videos, please subscribe, drop a comment below, and say hi. If you have a suggestion for a tip that you always do for hosting holidays at your home, or something that really works well for you to stay organized, please feel free to leave it in the comments and tell me. I'd love to learn more, and I'm always trying to improve my parties. Thanks again, guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!